Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to wait a few moments and just see who all can join. But once you're here, please introduce yourself and pop your name, where you're from, in the chat bar, and then we'll get going. Okay? Hi, Mia. Good morning. Hi, Jessica. Good morning. Happy New Year, everyone. Hi, Anne. Good morning. Hi, Catherine from Quebec. Your intention, I love this, to shed the layers of resistance in order to reach deeper and deeper levels of connection. Oh, I love that, Catherine. Please pop your intention in your chat bar. Even better. Let's start right away, right there. Hi, Donna. Hi, Elizabeth Kip. Oh, so good to see you. I just saw your son on New Year's Day. Hi, Virginie. Welcome. Hi, Naomi, Patty, Connie. So happy to be here with us all. Intention is to grow closer to the divine. Oh, I share that intention with you. Beautiful. Hi, Francesca. Kelly. Yoga, sound, and energy healing. Good morning, Satnam, Kelly, Ishvara Pranidhana of, wow, what a great intention, feeling that the wholeness that supports us all, feeling our connection to the divine. Wow, so beautiful. Hi, Nadine, so lovely to see you too. So you guys, a little minor adjustment here on the height of things. Hi, Andrea. I'm so glad that you're here. Hi, Michelle. So good. If you just arrived, start to tune in a little bit to what your intention is for this new year. What is calling you at the deepest, deepest level? And let it be a soul intention. Of course, we all have our earthly intentions and goals, but I think that if we can find out what our soul is yearning for, then we can attune ourselves to that frequency, and you'll find that everything else starts to sort itself out around that frequency. So, Maggie, you're saying, my intention is to continue to release myself from old patterns and step into even more of my truth and radiance. Oh, yes. Love, love, love. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Maiten. Oh, beautiful, you guys. So our topic for today, our topic is prana and breath. It's in fact our focus for the next month or so overall in our Radiant Body Yoga community. The power of prana. Prana, what is prana? The power of life force, the recognition that we are energetic beings. We are manifesting in physical form, but this physical form is merely a vibration that's held in our own unique individual pranic field. Every living thing in this earth dimension has a pranic field, and it exists within its own pranic field. The yogis understood this. They understood the necessity of becoming aware of ourselves as energy beings, or prani. We are prani. We are those who live by prana. We are pranis. So being aware of ourselves as energy beings and being aware of how we can work our physical body and breath and our attention, those three ingredients together, to change our state energetically. The energetic state then starts to shift our physical experience, in terms of our comfort levels in our physical body, and our experience in terms of our emotional body. because our emotions are really the felt experience within the physical body. We all know how powerful emotions are, and emotions tend to be connected to the mind and to our experience. So if we're worrying in worry and concern patterns, then we start to build the hormones of stress, and we start to have this feeling of agitation and unease. If we're ignoring something, if we're pushing down feelings that we don't want to feel, we start to slowly disconnect ourselves from our feeling state, and we become more and more apathetic, more and more disconnected, right? So we start to see that as the mind is, so our emotional expression is. And then if the emotional expression starts to dominate and become something that is so wired into the body, then the mind also is following the emotions, and we get caught in these unhelpful cycles. And again, bodies are very much emotions are very much the language of the body. So the yogis understood that if we can access our energy, our prana, our life force, the voltage of our cells, if we can access our energy and if we can access our pranic hub, our navel center, then we have the power to change our energetic frequency. If we're caught in frustration and anger, there's a certain frequency to that. If we're caught in a sense of disconnection, despondency, there's a frequency to that. All energy is an expression of consciousness, and all of each if you like ray of consciousness has a certain frequency to it. As we build the energy of the pranic hub of the navel center, then we can start to shift the frequency of our energy. And whatever we were concerned about, whatever emotional state was dominating, it all starts to dissolve, and we create what we would call, we would transmute that energy and create a transcendent state. In other words, a state that is other than, that is more refined than, elevated from the states of consciousness, the reflections, the frequencies that were holding us either in the anger or the despondency. Of course, it could be sadness, it could be grief, it could be any number of the broad range of emotional experience that we can have as yogis. For many, we can feel a victim, both of our mind and our emotions. But as yogis, we understand we have this pranic hub, we have this access point to prana, to life force, to our inner battery of power. And as we begin to source there and build from there, our whole energetic experience shifts and changes. And as that happens, we go from a dense state of consciousness limited, to a more and more and more expansive state, where we start to tap into different frequencies of information. And we start to realize that what we had been hyper focused on, that was creating the grief, the struggle, the disconnection, the challenge, as that dissolves and our perspective widens, we start to become aware of ourselves in a much greater context. It's like going from being in the depths of the woods, where the sky is completely obscured, you can't see but a few feet in front of you, to suddenly seeing the whole big picture. Of course, when we see the whole big picture, whatever had been catching our attention in such a discordant way, it diminishes in the scope. We become the ocean, not that individual wave. Our awareness becomes so expansive that we can see things now, not just from our perspective, but we can start to open ourselves to see it from the perspectives of others. Maybe if we've been in conflict with somebody, suddenly now we are not in conflict in the same way, because we have seen the bigger picture. We've opened and expanded ourselves beyond the limitation of our ego, which wants to fight or flight or control or manipulate. Because the ego is wanting this same. What is the same that the ego wants? It's the learned experience of life. It's the learned emotional state. It's the learned reactivities to life. It's what the ego knows. It wants to keep itself safe. Once we step onto the path of yoga, we start to romance this very poignant place within ourselves that we could call the unknown. We could call it the fertile void, the place of the unknown, the place where the constriction of self suddenly evaporates, and there's this sense of poignancy, of unknown, of expansion, and yet there's also the potential for that sense of like, oh my God, what happened? Because we're so used to this old state of consciousness. But that fertile void, that's the place we want to lean towards within our practices, especially pranic rich practices that ignite energy, that transform old patterns, that begin to expand us into an elevated, expansive state of consciousness. And then we start to see, as I said, the bigger picture, and then the physiology of the body starts to shift and change to reflect the bigger picture that we're seeing. So our emotional state changes to reflect that which we are now experiencing, the bigger scope. And so we've had a complete upgrade, right? That's it. We've had an upgrade. Now think about it. If you're doing that every single day, you're upgrading yourself on that energetic level, and then everything else about you is shifting to reflect that which you've now attuned yourself to. Well, you're literally upgrading on your every single level of your being. The greater power of you becomes available. It is no longer in that place of limitation. So we're leaning towards that sense of no thingness, the evaporation of the known self, the shifting of limitation, the opening into pure presence. Breath carries us to pure presence. As the yogis say, we're born on an inhale, we die on an exhale. Everything in between is what we call our life. Conscious breath, conscious life. Just like the mind and the emotions are connected, the mind and the breath are connected. As the breath, so the mind. As the mind, so the breath. If we change the way we're breathing, we change the patterns of the mind and we come into pure presence. That's the greatest gift of yoga. As the breath, so the mind. Change the breath rhythm. Bring your mind into relationship with the breath so that it stops trying to solve the riddle of you out here and it starts to sink into the breath. And as it sinks into the breath, then the now mind and prana start to create a deeper relationship. And mind starts to connect to the consciousness of prana, that expressed consciousness, intelligence of being. Mind starts to connect to that intelligence, that deep state, the all-knowing state. And it completely loses its taste for trying to solve the riddle of you on the level of intellect and analysis. And the mind starts to come into this reverent, open, expansive place. So as the Breath, so the mind. Breath as the doorway into the infinite. Breath as the doorway into the void. And the void can feel like pure presence, pure awareness, pure potency of now, right? That's where the breath can take us. And if we've gone there on the breath and we are a pranic rich environment, we've built the life force energy, we've come into a coherent state. Now, when we use the breath to harness the power of the mind, and the mind starts to feel this pranic rich environment, it begins to settle. That's when the now becomes so rich. That's when the fertile void feels full of potential rather than a void that is lacking what we know or knew. The correct sequence of practice is to build the power of prana first, then do the internal balancing mind, breath, prana connection, so that big, fertile, rich experience is what the mind settles in, and you really can sense the vastness of who you are. That full, rich, expansive potential. Once we've touched that, once we've tasted that, it becomes this inner reservoir, what the yogis call the nectar, or the place where emanates the waves of beauty and bliss, the waves of beauty. That once we're in that state, everything we perceive, we're perceiving it as beauty. Whatever you could imagine beauty as, that becomes our experience. Wow, how different our lives unfold as we begin to relate to this inner state. That's what the yogis point to. We're not trying to be a perfect human being. We're not trying to do everything right. We're not trying to blame and shame ourselves for everything we've done wrong. No, we're simply looking to become conscious, present human beings. Conscious, present human beings, so that naturally, whatever we do from that place of deep conscious presence is filled with the intelligence of that presence, of that deep stability, of that deep inner silence. And so our life just intuitively starts to unfold in a much clearer way, much less possibility of getting caught in reactive, painful patterns with self and other. That's what we're seeking to do. And then to continue the process that we do as yogis of self-reflection, self-correction. We're not trying to be perfect. We have to remember that. So therefore, if we momentarily fall from grace, the immediate reaction is not shame and blame. It's like, oh, I fell from grace. If I got to do that again, what would I do differently? You change it in your mind, you change it. Is there something I need to do to repair the situation? If so, what is it? Okay, can I do that now? Can I clear it up now? So the residue of that is not impacting my pranic field, is not infiltrating and creating this old emotional reaction, which I now have to carry. Because any negative emotion that you have towards somebody else, the first person being impacted by that negative energy is you, because you're feeling it. That other person might have no idea, maybe on the subtle level they feel it, but consciously no idea but you're hurting yourself by holding that energy. So again, once you sit on your mat, you build your pranic hub, you shift your energetic state. Now you come to change and dissolve that. You're no longer feeling that angst and anger. You see things differently. You can respond differently. Now, if we're caught in an old reactive pattern, one of those that goes so deep, we have to work on it consistently until we have completely dissolved the old reservoir of that emotional state. Anger is a big one, resentment's a big one, dissociation, disconnection, avoidance is a big one. So to be able to burn through those patterns, we have to be aware that sometimes things come up and it gets a little worse before it gets better, right? Sometimes people do deep yogic practices and they email me and they say, wait, I feel like my life is completely falling apart. Am I doing this wrong? And that's what I have to say. Oh, you're doing it right. You're on track. You can back off a little bit, but stay with it, stay consistent so that you can move through it to the other side. This, to me, is the joy of doing pranic practices. This is the joy of recognizing that we are not at the mercy of our mental and emotional state, even though at times it feels impossible to break free when we've been strongly triggered. It is possible. It is possible. It's about building that deep self-trust and self-confidence in ourselves and in our practice so that in those triggered moments, we can make that choice. That's where the change really counts. There's a saying that when the change is hardest to do, it's the most relevant. So learning to lean into those moments of discomfort and taking full radical responsibility to shifting ourselves. I'm going to share a really beautiful Kriya here today, Kriya and breath, because it's a beautiful one to activate the pranic hub and to move energy into the heart center and to help us to find that expansive state of being where we have transcended our ordinary consciousness and we start to access the more superconscious place and then vision from that place. So good, you guys. I think that's good. I think I want to save now this time for practice and then a little reflection afterwards. Okay? Does that sound good to you guys? Do you have a mat handy? We're only going to pretty much sit, so it's not going to be a big strenuous thing. Naomi's saying, I'm right before bed here in Jerusalem. We'll be going to bed in 2.5 hours. Should this keep you up? No, this won't keep you up. You see, here's the secret to these practices. That even though you upgrade, up-level your energy, so you feel energized, it's not a rajasic kind of energy. In other words, if you then lie down, you put something heavy over your belly or you lie on your belly, you're going to very quickly still draw in towards that deep state of relaxation. You're just going to be in a less cluttered place as you're going off to sleep. So yes, you can do it, even though it feels stimulating. Just when you lie down, put something heavy over your belly or your thighs, or lie on your stomach, and that will bring the energy into the center of the body and calm and connect you. Okay? All right, so I'm going to move back. Set yourself up on your mat. Good. What a joy to be with you all. Thank you for coming and being with me. Thank you for being on this path. We are so blessed to have these practices that carry us from darkness to light. We are so blessed to know the power of our breath and to implement it in these profound ways. So come sitting up. We'll tune in with Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo, rubbing your palms together. And inhale deeply to begin. I bow to the creative consciousness within, the teacher within. Exhale. I bow to that intelligence that is continuously urging me towards growth, towards evolution, towards refinement of myself so that I can access this inner stream of wisdom. Inhale deeply. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhaling and exhale. Hands down on your knees. Follow your breath all the way through here. Inhale forward, exhale back. Good, and then the opposite direction. Good. Take a nice deep inhale. And full exhale. Hands onto your shins. Inhale forward, exhale back with the lower spine. Keep your chin parallel to the ground as you're moving. Sniffing the breath in and out. Present with emotion, present with your breath. Using the breath and the movement to initiate a movement of the pranic force. Inhale deeply. Squeeze Mulabandha, lift up through the pelvic floor, through your spine. And exhale. Hands on your knees. Begin to move higher up in the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, back. Deep inhale. Pause your breath, lift through your pelvic floor, spine tall, holding. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. And hands up onto your shoulders, fingers in front, thumbs behind. Inhale, swing left, exhale, right. Deep inhale to the center. Pause your breath, lift through your pelvic floor. And exhale, release your arms down. And we'll shrug the shoulders up and down with the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Conscious with each breath, each movement. Inhale, shrug up. Pausing. Exhale down. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Then begin to gently move your head, circling in one direction. And then the other. Really focus up, very up at the top of your spine, back of the head. Slightly in. And then come to the center. Full inhale. Take a moment, feeling the length of your spine. We just energized, pranically speaking. And we stimulated the nerve ganglia all the way along the spine, which in turn gently stimulates all of the major glands in the body. So we already create a shift and an opening in the energetic field. Wonderful. Now, because we kind of have to, I always have to, let's come into downward facing dog just for a few breaths. As soon as you're ready, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, and just breathe in down dog. If you were on a chair, then just hold the back of the chair and stand pressing your hips back, lengthening in your spine. Deep breaths. Feeling the very beginning of the breath, middle of the breath, very top of the breath, and then feeling the beginning of the exhale middle of the exhale, and all the way to the bottom of the exhale. So good. And then pop yourself back down to a seated pose again. Wrap your thumbs with your fingers, and we're going to start activating your pranic hub here with this movement of the arms. So thumbs wrapped by your fingers, movement here. Long deep breath if you're on your menstrual cycle or pregnant. Otherwise, breath of fire with me. Okay, here we go. Focus at your belly as you're doing this. Good, good. So you're stimulating the 72,000 nerves, that plexus in the solar plexus as you do the breath of fire. You're activating what we call the pranic hub. So you're creating this increase in energy, in the voltage of your energy. So we start to create the potential for great change right here. The arm movements stimulating this navel area further. Take a deep inhale. Pause your breath, engage Mulaband, lift up through your spine, chin in, focus at your third eye. Hold. And as you're ready, exhale. Keep your eyes closed now. Tune into your belly. Sense yourself right here as a prani, a pranic being. Where do you feel the energy? What does it feel like? And now bring your arms up. So we're going to move from the heart level. Palms are actually facing one another here. And then you move up and down, just this little area here, up and down, opposite arms from the heart to the third eye. So it's a smallish movement right here with breath of fire. Here we go. Eyes rolled to the third eye, elbows straight, powerful movement. Feeling the energy in the palms of your hands as you're moving. Using the breath here, right? A vitalizing breath, like breath of fire, to stimulate the prana, using the movement of the arms to further stimulate the pranic field and create this coherence between mind and heart. When mind and heart come into coherence, then the reactive self dissolves. The full intelligence of our being comes online. And now put a little yes to life in this. Yes, yes. Elevating myself. Moving beyond the disconnection into connection. Deep inhale, stretch your arms up so they're a projection as though from the third eye. Pause the breath. Squeeze Mulabandh. Start to gather that energy from the base, that pranic energy, and now draw it with your mind up through your spine, up, piercing through the chakras all the way to the third eye. And exhale, release. Palms up, sit quietly, observe. Notice the inflow and outflow of breath at the opening of the nostrils. The opening of the nostrils is a place where we focus there, we begin to censor or create a deeper stability in the pranic field. Like a joyful awareness. Now, arms up, straight up, like you're projecting from your third eye. And we're going to just move the hands with a long, deep breath. Just moving your hands. It's a strange move, but we're stimulating the electromagnetic field. Of course, we're stimulating the body too, the heart-lung meridians. We're stimulating the brain as we move the hands. We're stimulating the colon as we move the forearms, the tendons in the forearms, which you start to feel pretty soon. And maybe best of all, to those of you who are really wanting to move through resistance this year, we start to hit upon a certain like physical feeling of resistance. Sometimes that has an emotional quality that comes with it, like we get angry, we get frustrated, or other, and yet we just get to be in it, witnessing. I'm witnessing. I'm not that. Ooh, I'm not my anger. Ooh, I'm not my disappointment. Ooh, I'm not any of that. I am this pure witnessing consciousness. and consciousness meeting with the intelligence of prana, which is consciousness in energy. When your consciousness, your clear mind connects to the awakened prana, the enlivened prana, the elevated frequency, now you're in that sweet spot where the miraculous is possible. It's here. We're aware of it. All right. Ooh, last few. Just another little, yes, I got this. And then inhale, stretch through the arms. Pause your breath, squeeze Mulabandh. Feel that lift up through the spine to the third eye. And exhale, release your arms down. Be still and be aware of yourself as a pranic being. Tune to your heart as though your whole experience of life right now is coming from the feeling of your heart into the auric field around you. Attuning yourself to the presence of this unseen support of life, all the awakened ones who exist in the timeless, eternal now. Tuning to the presence of each other as we connect from all over the world. And we come into this moment, recognition, all souls connected through this one creative consciousness. We're like light bulbs in the unified field, tuning in this moment to the possibility in the now, an opportunity to open ourselves in love. True love never runs out. True love is as eternal as life itself, as the deeper expression of life itself, consciousness. The more we give, the more flows through us. True love that has no attachments, no agenda, no manipulation. True love is. Now begin to turn your torso in a counterclockwise direction. Nicely massaging the internal organs. The internal organs are like the record keepers. They keep the emotional tones. The unprocessed stuff somehow finds its way into the organic body when we stimulate through the breath of fire. When we rotate in this way, we start to massage the internal organs. We release those old stories, old patterns, old ways of being. We let go of toxic mind states. Nice. Rotate, cleanse. It's this moment. It's this moment. All the tomorrows are built on this very moment. The more conscious we are in this moment, the more open we are. That is the foundation for the next moment and the next moment. 30 more seconds. Revolve, revolve, squeeze. Squeeze it out. And remember, let's also let our practice become a place of deep joy. We want to feel joyful. Joy is the most powerful pranic mover. Good. Now take a deep inhale. Squeeze, mulaband, lift up through your spine. Focus at your third eye so you have this lift of pelvic floor and the third eye focus. Both ends of your spine active. Your spine like a divining rod here, tuning you. And exhale. Ah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, life. Thank you, breath. Thank you to this consciousness that is at the heart of all creation. Now we're going to stimulate the root and go into the final breath practice afterwards. If you can bring yourself into a lotus pose, whoop, then from your lotus you lift up and down, up and down, little jolt of the spine. If your knees are tender like mine, you don't want to do that for the next minute and a half, then keep your ankles on the floor, but do lift from your belly. Don't do it all with your arms. Use your belly too. And a little pop down. Yes, we want to put a little jolt of energy through the spine. Lift from the pelvic floor, lower belly. Here we go, last 30 seconds. Good, and then rest. Rest, sit tall. You'll feel that energy through your lower belly, maybe even through the hip flexors a little bit, and into the pranic hub. Breathe into the pranic hub. So good. All right. Last part. Still seated. Now you're going to bring your hands up behind your head. So we're stabilizing the prana now between heart, throat, third eye. So we've already activated through the navel, we've activated through the spine. We just sent this jolt of energy through the whole spinal cord. Now we're stabilizing the pranic field in the heart, throat, third eye realm, your projection from heart. So we begin with a long, deep breath. Go to the deepest breath that you can. Smooth, fulfilling, breathing, lightness of being into your experience. Feel the gesture of the mudra of the arms in this position. How it naturally starts to lift and open, like the heart center becomes that bottom focal point, and the elbows and the third eye become these upper focal points, stabilizing energy. Right here within you is the most refined form of prana, the essence of pure love itself. See if as you breathe, you can tune yourself towards that essence of love itself, pure, clear seeing, compassionate eyes, pure love. The vertical axis of the heart, the third eye, stabilized by the horizontal axis of the elbows and third eye. And now begin breath of fire. Here you can keep with a long, deep breath if that is better for you in your body. Eyes focused, Shambhavi Mudra. So as though there's a little spot just in front of your forehead where your eyes are tuned to, and you use that drishti as a stabilizing place. The belly is pulsing, but your eyes, your drishti is steady. Take a deep inhale. Pause your breath, lift your pelvic floor, spine tall, tune in. And then exhale, release your arms down, palms up, sit absolutely still. Tune to the intelligence within you. And feeling down all the way to the root of your body, a place where we're connected to the intelligence of the earth. And then feel the different layers of your spine all the way up, noticing anywhere that has a particular sense or feeling. Pause for a while at your heart center and let yourself expand, open into the vastness of space all around you from the level of your heart. As though tuning to the great cosmic heart of creative consciousness itself. And lengthening up through your throat. Feel the presence of energy at your throat. And then feel the presence of energy at your third eye. And then feel just at the crown of your head and above the crown of your head, opening to that source, kind of flow of the cosmic energy. And sense right here your capacity to continuously receive as you open through the crown. To the flow of healing energy through your whole body. And then into the electromagnetic field around you, about 4 feet in each direction around your body. Protective circle of light around your body. Sensing yourself here like an island of light. And infuse this light with your prayer, with your intention, with the qualities of being you wish to walk through the rest of this year with. And now let's come lying down and we'll let this energy settle. So lie yourself down. It's an important moment, especially when we work with prana. that as you relax on the physical level, the subtle flow of prana starts to open up and expand. Any little ways that muscle was caught in or energy was caught in the contraction of muscle, all that now starts to release and open up into the field, and a great healing happens. So tuning yourself as you lie back to the feeling of wholeness, radiant health on all levels. Be aware of the hum, the vibration you may feel in your body, around your body. Tune to it. You may feel the energy moving from one part of your body to another. Stay tuned to it. You can feel free to stay longer if you like and just listen to the closing whilst you stay lying down, or you can gently rub your palms from the soles of your feet and roll a little side to side, and then roll to your right and gently press yourself up to a seated pose. And close your eyes once you come upright and feel you are more aware than when you first sat, even though you might have been in a good state of awareness. Can you feel the difference in attunement? Notice the qualities of energy that are present for you in this moment. I sense a full, enriched heart space, almost a little upward tug from heart and third eye, a feeling of unification. And that feeling of contentment, not needing anything, just happy in the now. We'll close the Kriya with a long Sat Nam. Inhale deeply. Sat Nam. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your light and infusing more beautiful energy into the unified field of consciousness that all beings will be feeling on some level or another. Every time we bring ourselves into conscious attunement, we become like a divining rod for those around us. We become like a magnetic pull in the unified field that helps those who might not have all the tools that we have to be lifted within their own souls and selves. So thank you for doing this work. I'm just thrilled to be in community with you. And so many ways to continue deepening this journey together. For those who have not yet done the Prana and Pranayama module, it's coming up here in a couple of weeks in January. It's an online course with live sessions and lots of pre-records. You go at your own pace. And we'd love you to join if you feel like you'd like to dive more into Prana and Pranayama. We'll have a meditation course launching soon, so keep your eyes open for that. And of course, for those who feel the desire to journey and have an adventure, both inner and outer, please join me for my favorite journey of the year to Khajuraho, India. This is the last time I'm going to go there for a little while. So for those of you who want to visit my personal sadhana place with me, then come join February 28th to March 9th. And then I head to the International Yoga Festival from there. And you can join me at the festival too. And then also, I'm actually in Zion National Park right now. Ooh, one of my favorite places in the world. And not so far from here in Sedona, Arizona, in April, we're doing the mantra module. So if you want to come chant with me and Ananda Das, please come and learn the science of sound and vibration. And yes, so many ways to connect. And please, if you're not part of our Radiant Body community, join. We're about to upgrade it on all levels, and we are so excited. Anyway, all that aside, I want to hear from you. What came through for you in that practice? What came through about you, for you in this year to come? Oh, good, Jessa, you'll come for the Pranayama module. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Yes. Deep reverence. Oh, Virginie, yes. I just so love to be in community with you. Thank you, guys. Empowered, says Patty. Good, we love empowered. Holding ecstatic curiosity for living things. Wow, Ryan, that's a biggie. I love that. Woo! Every time I practice, I awaken more, says Susie. It never stops. Yes, truth, right? It's truth. That's right. Oh, Oksana coming to the Pranayama module too. Yes, I love that. Patty is saying no holding back. Yes, I love that. Let's not hold back. Every time we hold back, that essential essence of self gets just a little bit held, right? Because that's what's wanting to express through us. Creative consciousness, the source of all wisdom, all knowing, all intelligence itself wants to create through you, through me, through all of us. It's just our fears and sense of limitation and distraction that prevent that from happening. Let's make this a year where we allow ourselves to really follow the inner voice of truth, of wisdom, to let ourselves be guided by light, to be guided by love. What would love do? How would love express? So many ways that we can attune ourselves, right? As yogis. Orla, so glad. The rush of the season. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, shaking off that sense of duty, and I'm now embracing being included. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Susanna, you're coming to Sedona. I love that. Heather, I felt the ultimate light inside. Such a powerful feeling of love for our oneness. Oof. Oof. Love that. Catherine, feeling fully accepted and lighter. Ah, humble surrender, says Natalie. Oh, I love that. And April, beautiful practice, tuning to and experiencing prana within. It's such a, it's extraordinary. Yes, yes. Thank you, Oksana. Betsy, breaking through layers and then dropping into stillness. Oh, wow, that's a great visual. Martina, ready for self-mastery 2025. Yes, yes, yes. And you're coming to Khajuraho. I'm so glad you're coming to Khajuraho, Martina. Oh, and thank you, H and Robin. This practice cultivated so much trust in the universe and divine, and therefore trust within myself. Yes. Annie, I feel less shameful, less self-hatred. Oh, I'm so glad. Annie, welcome from lovely Sweden. Janelle, oh, thank you. Prani, we're pranis, you guys, exactly. Next time we get stuck in our humanness, in our humanness, our mental, emotional disturbance, just remember, wait, I'm an energetic being. I'm going to go stand under a tree and remember what it means to be a fully integrated energetic being. And you see, the tree will take you there. Nature, you are nature itself. When you small nature, go into big nature. Nature, you come into harmony. So yes, awareness, mindfulness, setting the mood and holding peace for myself. Oh, I love that. Fergoliko. I'm not saying that right, but I love your name. Naomi. Hope and power to transform and change and shift mind state and heal. We can do this. Yes. My turn. Feeling one with all, one with the universe. Exactly. We're vibrating vibration, says Susie. We are. Thank you again for being here, for connecting in this way. Wishing you a blessed, blessed year. Truly, truly. Let's rise to each challenge, understanding that challenges occur as opportunities for growth. It may seem trite, one of those things we say, but it's true, isn't it? We know that from our own direct experience. Things that at first appear like losses ultimately are a gain. They're another opportunity to see things and expand ourselves and to perhaps take a choice that we wouldn't have taken otherwise. So this year, so many opportunities for us to grow, to expand, to be the lighthouse for ourselves and those around us, and to continuously infuse love into the field. Love generates in such a profound way. So thank you. Love, 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 love to you. And big thanks to my Radiant Body Yoga team. You're incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jessica, Rachel, you're incredible. And everybody else who supports along the journey. This is a really exciting time. So see you guys soon. Sat Nam.